Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Have a written budget. Now, I'm going to tell you what. A lot of people have more money on hand than they realize. They really do. But they usually get into a place where they spend more than or they spend on dumb things. They don't have any control over it. How much money they have to spend per month or anything, or any control over their impulse to spend. Think about it. In fact, you got a lot of the economy that's even based on it. Like if you go in grocery stores, right? Go in grocery stores. Have you noticed you got all these candies or magazines in the checkout line? They want you to spend like that impulse buy, like you right there, boom. And all of a sudden that can add up. Now, having a written budget actually allows you to get control over your spending. Having your written budget has control. Now, it would seem obvious, but then how many people are broke every time? They spend money and they broke, and then they might get into some minor debt, and then all of a sudden, if they in poor neighborhoods, they maybe have to go to like the pawn shop or something, and they spending money, and that's kind of a scam because they end up spending more money. They spending a ton of money, get the stuff out, and you just get trapped. But a budget can actually keep your spending on tap and even help you to spend money, right? Like, here's how you do it. It's very simple. First, write down all the main bills that you have to pay every month. Write it down. Like, what I do is I write down I have a list. And I mean, it's a printed out list. I type it, it's on my computer. I got forms. And I fill it in every single bill that I have, right? Every single bill that I have. And I budget for it. I put down how much I'm going to spend on it, And I say, okay, boom, right? And it's like, boom, get it done. It's just you pay that exact thing. And then you look into, you can add to your budget like discretionary funds. And the discretionary fund is when you do feel that impulse or you want to go out or something. Or you can put down the entertainment, how much you want to spend on entertainment, like how much you want to spend on the movies or stuff like that. Clothes. Like put down as many things as possible that you know that you spend every single month. And then definitely have an emergency thing. Put some away. In fact, really, if you have a budget, if you really want to build up your money, that should be the first thing. You should treat your savings account like a bill. Treat your savings account like a bill. I could halfway do a whole podcast on this, but I don't think I need to. But treat that. That's one of your bills too. Don't look at it as, it's just some money. You just you can spend it later. Because actually, there's some people, because they don't have a budget, they will actually put money into a savings, but then end up getting it right back out. Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? And, in doing that budget, try to write down like what you spend every month. Like, okay, how much do you spend on food on a weekly basis? Write that down, average that out. Now, the food thing can be weird because you can either save money there or make more money spend more money. But write a general thing. Try to do it every week. Like take all your food receipts and everything, put it, write it out. And then after a month, put it all, add all the numbers up and divide it by 4. Or, a few months might have like 5 weeks in it. Or it's, well, not quite 5, but, flow into 5. You know how I mean. Like April. Yeah, April is close to that. Let me see something. Yeah, it's y'all know what I mean. Right, but write that out on a weekly basis, average it out, and you could actually line it up with your paycheck. It's like, okay, I'm going to pay my rent with this check, boom, pay my other stuff with this, all right? And then that's the thing, and you want to gas everything that you normally spend, that you have to spend, and then, of course, you still got the discretionary fund, entertainment fund. Now, with that written budget, well, if you can, have an emergency fund too that you're feeding. But with that budget, it's important to stay with it. No matter how much. I don't care. And maybe even put in your budget like fund that you have just to spend on like some, it might be a sell on shoes or something. I mean, you just gotta get those shoes. Boom. And you want to do that, and you want to maintain that. What you will find by sticking to that budget, you'll start having extra money, because the budget will really force you to want to adhere to it, but then you will be very conscious about like those little impulse buys. You might not get that candy bar at the store like you usually would, because you're just like, nah, this will put me off budget. Boom. And you'll find if you do this for a few months, you'll start having extra money. And even that you can write into the budget. You'll say, okay, whatever extra money I got, just go into my savings. It feeds the savings. Or if you already got something for that, you can already say, well, you know what? I'm going to splurge a little bit this month since I got extra. Now, I'm going to tell you where I learned that, right? I'm going to tell you where I really learned that. I learned that my senior year in college. I learned that my senior year in college about having a budget, right? Because, like, I was on, like, just the situation and how much the, tuition was and how much I was able to get through student loans. It was tight. It was tight the first semester of my senior year. It was very tight. All right. Now, I had the loan and everything. And I mean, I was in a good position. I had to work a little bit and everything, but I had to be disciplined every single day. It was even in how much money I was spending a day, because I had to stretch that money out. And I even had like a little work study job, but I still had to stretch that money out. And the loan money, I had to be budgeted with that, because they had to last me the whole semester. And, and then the other little bit of money I made and everything. All right. And thankfully, I was on a partial scholarship anyway, so my room and board was paid for. So thankfully, but even then. And I remember it was tough. I mean, my stomach be growling sometimes because I could only eat so much, but I budgeted to the point, because I ain't cooked that much for myself, or even then I was like real picky what I got. And I stuck with that budget. Now, I stuck with it to the point that I had extra money at some point. I was able to give that to my grandmother. I was able to give that to my grandmother instead of using it for myself. That's how powerful it was. All of a sudden, I'm getting extra money because I wasn't spending it on any light thing, wasn't buying clothes, anything. I was real tight with it. So I said, that's always a thing. And that's always been a thing with me. It even helped me, because I'm going to still talk about business on this channel. It actually helped me with business, because then I would have extra money to put into a business by sticking with that budget. I would always end up having extra money, so I could say, oh, okay, you know what? I got some extra money and stuff. Hey, I can like invest in a business or something. And then even on a bigger thing, the more extra money you can invest in different things in general anyway, and which will actually bring you more money. So that's the important thing. That's the important thing. Because, again, I've seen some people, they were making a lot of money. Like I knew this one young lady, and this is when I was working in the government, but she was working in something actually making more money than I was. Yet I was living better. She was making more money than I was, but she had to live at home with her mother and everything. Meanwhile, I'm in a luxury apartment and stuff. And she making more money, not living as well as I did. But the thing was, she would just spend her money on dumb stuff. She would just spend it recklessly. Once you get that budget, even if you minimum wage, you can still live on that. You just have to be it, because a lot of people on minimum wage still spend their money on things they don't need. And I'll probably talk about that in a future podcast about what you spending your money on, because that's how you have it extra. So anyway, have that budget. And you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be talking about more than business, but whether you business or 9 to 5, let's go make that money.